I'll just start. Okay, ready?
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Did you believe that? Maybe a little bit? Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? There we go. That's the kind of energy I like on a Sunday morning. Welcome to Unity of Tucson and this beautiful spiritual community where we are here to celebrate love. Grateful to have you here on a Sunday morning. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister here, and we're just going to kick it off today with our guest singer leading us in song. Please welcome Charlie Hall.
Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish. I know that I'm being wise. And it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, in the whisper of the tree. Oh, love is in the air, in the thunder of the sea. And I know that I'm not just dreaming. I know that I'm feeling sane. And it's something that I must believe in. And it's there when you call out my name. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh. Love is in the air, in the rising of the sun. Love is in the air, when the day is nearly done. And I know that it's not an illusion. must believe in, and it's there when I reach out to you. Love is in the air, everywhere I look around. Love is in the air, every sight and every sound. And I know that I'm not being foolish, I know that I'm being wise, and it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, oh, love is in the air, oh, love is in the air, love is in the air, love is in the air. I said, love is in the air.
That's Charlie Hall. Whew, that's a nice way to start the month of February. February, the month of love, right? Yes, yes, oh yeah. So you're gonna underscore me today? So once again, good morning, beautiful humans. I am so grateful to share this time with you here on another glorious Sunday morning. As I said before, we are a spiritual community, and what goes along with that is we are here to teach practical tools to create a better life for ourselves and for all of humanity, really. As we make our lives better, I believe that we contribute to the betterment of all humanity. So what do you say we celebrate that today? Now, you may not believe everything you hear today, as I often say, but I do think you will hear something that you believe. And what we teach here is that our beliefs create our experience. So as you hear something that you believe, recognize and know that that is something that is creating the construct and the expression and the experience of your life. And you are here on purpose, I also like to say. And then I joked, saying, even if somebody dragged you here, you are here on purpose, because there's a purpose within each and every one of us, and let's celebrate that today. Even if somebody brought you here, this is a reflection of something that was within you that provided the avenue within that person to say, I'm dragging you to church this morning. I was dragged to church once, back when it was not a very pleasant experience. But we're here to make a pleasant experience. What do you say? Shall we celebrate that today? Yeah. Now, before we continue, this is the first Sunday of the month, and we celebrate birthdays on the first Sunday of the month. Now, we're going to sing Happy Birthday later. I forgot to tell you that we're singing Happy Birthday today, but
I know that one.
I think you know that one, yeah. We celebrate birthdays for the entire month on the first Sunday of the month. The way that we do that is we invite you to fill out a form as you're entering if you are celebrating a birthday in the month of February. So if you were celebrating a birthday in the month of February and did not fill out a form, would you just let us know so we can bring a form to you and put your name into the draw? Charlie, okay. So, William, do you mind grabbing some forms and taking those around? So what happens a little later in the service is we will do a draw from those forms. On that form, you fill out your name, and you fill out, you check mark one of the pre-registered, what is the word I'm looking for? One of the pre-listed charities that we have vetted in our community. And if you are the winner of the draw, then a portion of our tithe to the world goes to that charity this month. So that's how we get to celebrate your birthday. So William's going to bring those around. And as he does that, I also want to let you know that we have a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson. And it's something that I think should be celebrated. So would you share the words of our vision statement with me? Here they are. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And before we go to our mission statement, if you are having a birthday and need to fill out a form, raise your hand up high. There's someone right there, William. Thank you. So the vision is how we see the world, how we choose to see the world. And the mission is how we get there, the steps we take to get there. So let's share our mission statement together. Here it is. Love only, forgive everything, Remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. And like I said, this year we are letting one of the 12 powers each month be the theme for the month. And this month it is the power of love, that aspect within each and every one of us that is creative. So as we celebrate love, let's keep in mind that first part of our mission, love only. Love only. Now, if you're joining us for the first time today, if you're online joining us for the first time today, I just want to reach out and say thank you for being with us, being present with us. There is a way that you can connect with us. If you go to unitytucson.com/connect, you can fill out some information there, and we will respond back to you and be grateful that you have decided to be connected with this community. If you are in the room and you're joining us for the first time today, there is a sign-up in the lobby that you can share with us your information if you like. But here's another thing that we would like you to do. If you are comfortable, and I always say, if you are comfortable with identifying yourself as someone who's new to us today, we have a gift that we would like to give to you. So if you're comfortable, would you please stand so that we can give you a gift? Grateful to have you here. Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you would remain standing for a moment. Yes. I'm going to invite you to remain standing because there's something else that we need to tell you. We have done our research, and we know something about you. We do. Here's the thing that we know about you. Is everyone ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Absolutely magnificent, and I'm grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence. You can be seated. Thanks for joining us here today. Now, we know that about you because every single person we encounter is a reflection of that which is within ourselves. So I think that we should all exclaim for ourselves this: I am magnificent. Let's do that one more time. I am magnificent. Yes, that feels good. Would you please welcome today's Keeper of the Flames, Winnell Waters. She's going to join me here on the platform to engage in this ceremony, this ritual that we have adopted here. If you come up here, I can fix that for you. Oh, you got it. Okay. We engage in this ritual every week as a testament to the understanding that we hold firm in our hearts that every faith tradition, every religious path, you know what they say, multitasking is the enemy of efficiency. There we go. Thank you. That every faith tradition, every spiritual path, every religious idea, every religious ideology, it's all rooted in one thing. And so we distill it back to the understanding that it is all rooted in love. And so for each candle that we light here today in honor of the faith traditions of the world, let us understand that and hold that in our hearts. And so we begin by lighting a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light a candle for all faith traditions that go unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be as yet unaware of the power and the presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we keep open for them in our own hearts. This final candle we light is the healing candle. It represents the unfoldment or the uncovering of the God essence at the core of all circumstances. For that is how we teach healing within our philosophy, that God is at the core of it all. And when we actively work to reveal God in our experience, that is what we call healing. So this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. Hello.
Hello.
Would you please join me here for a moment?
Sure.
If you're new to our community, Winnell is going to reflect a bit upon the homework that I gave last week. Now, I said at the beginning that we teach spiritual practical tools. And so I give homework every week and invite you all to take it to heart and utilize it in your life. And then I invite the keeper of the flames each week to reflect on how that homework was utilized in their life. So let me remind everyone what the homework last week was. I invited everyone to take a journey inward and to each day ask yourself these questions when you wake up. There were 4 questions. There were 4 questions. I can count. Question number 1, what is one thing I definitely believe? What is one thing I definitely believe? Question 2, why do I believe it? 3, does it serve me to continue believing it? And 4, if I don't wish to continue to believe it, what belief can I replace it with? And I just said, explore these questions and see what happens. So please do tell me, what happened?
Well, first of all, I wrote this down differently when you spoke it. And some of my questions were a little different.
So what were the questions you wrote down?
Well, the first one was like, what is something you do and you notice you're doing it a lot? I guess that's very similar.
Okay.
Okay. And so I noticed these things were coming up, and I was getting anxious about stuff like in the middle of the night, something so innocent as I haven't gotten a packet for a workshop I was going to.
Okay, great. So you didn't get the packet for the workshop you were having to.
And so what happened was I kept going down this rabbit hole. It's not going to come in time. I won't have the information. I'll be behind. What am I going to do? Because I've been looking for, it was a quantum touch workshop, and I've been looking forward to this for 2 months. And then I thought, she's in Phoenix, she could send you another one. Oh, no. So I go to the mailbox, it's not there. It's Monday, Tuesday, it starts on Friday. So I go home and I think, I go down to all right. So I think, why do I do this? About things that really don't matter. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like, crossing the street, should I not? It's like, this doesn't matter. And then I realized that when I was very young, my parents divorced. And my mother was a little, I don't know, I'd say kind of unstable. She decided to do this at the last minute. I think it was a good move, but, So I became the person that kind of looked out for her. It's like, and at 3 or 4, I was saying, no, I mean, and so it was like, I was looking at what would happen next if we did this, if we did this. And I didn't want to lose the second parent. I mean, I think children that are divorced, like that, they don't want to lose the next one. So that was there. And then I was a meeting planner. And in a meeting, when you have 300 corporate people, the most that you've planned everything, a lot of fun, that part's fun. But then I'm continually looking at what's going to go wrong and trying to cut it off before it happens. And I'm thinking, why are you doing this in your real life? And I thought, does this serve you? No, this does not serve you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're continuing to look at what might go wrong.
Correct.
Do you have a tacit belief that things will go wrong in your life?
I don't know, but evidently I do.
So there's a belief, right?
Right,
There's a belief.
And I've got to catch it. That it's my job to catch it before it actually happens.
Great. So we've identified a belief.
Right.
Things can go wrong.
That's it.
Yeah. Why do you believe it?
Because of what I just said.
Because there's proof in the world.
It's happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we proving things based on that which is out there?
Right.
Or are we going to start to turn it within and say, I'm going to create the concept of my life?
So I sat there a minute and I said, okay, I'm going to count. How many years have you even interacted? Has it been since you interacted with your mother, period? 21. That's how long she's passed away. And I thought, how long has it been since you had that company? 30 years ago. You're not looking after executives anymore. And it's like, you know, give up on this. But the best part was, what do I really want to happen? Okay. So the packet doesn't come in the mail. And I think, oh, well. The woman calls me. I go back in. She calls me this thing. Well, now, I was trying to email you something. I've evidently gotten it wrong. But here's the 4 things you should know before you come. And I thought, how easy was that? I had 3 incidences like that. But the best one was the one I almost told you about. It was like the workshop was about love and quantum touch and all this stuff. And I thought, I don't really know what they mean by love or all this stuff. So I went to this workshop, and it was all about using your life force energy and love to project the energy to heal people. And that's what we did all weekend. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It was like when I let go of what's the problem, I could welcome in what was actually happening that was fun in my life.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for
So that's
sharing
my
that.
story.
Yeah, I want to point out something you just said, though.
What?
Sometimes we tacitly say, I just couldn't believe it.
Right.
That's actually an indicator of something that we believe. So just check in with that when next time you find yourself saying that.
Saying that.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
You're
Winnell,
welcome.
for sharing today. Winnell Waters. So today is the second Sunday in our season for nonviolence, and every Sunday through April 3rd, we have a person who's going to share with us. So we're calling them the Peacekeepers. And today's Peacekeeper is William Summers. And there it goes. Well, Anita's fixing it for you. It's all this microphone stuff. William is coming up to the stage to share with us a quote, this week's affirmation, and a practice for nonviolence and peace in our world. William.
Good morning. Today, a lot of times I come up here and I'm, kind of a little bit of a goof, but this is important stuff here, and it's season for nonviolence, and the stuff I'm about to talk about, this comes from the heart. So our first quote today is from Marianne Williamson, and what she has to say is, each of us has a unique part to play in the healing of the world. And our next quote is from Eric Butterworth, and he says, our job is not to set things right, but to see them right. Now, if you didn't catch that, I'm going to repeat that. Our job is not to set things right, but to see them right. And he says in Discover the Power Within You, we have been chained to the unfortunate belief in good people and bad people, strong people and weak people. There are no bad or weak people in the concept of the divinity of humankind. What is the truth then, even of criminals? They are good people, ignorant of their innate goodness, frustrating their divine potential. They are spiritual beings, but unplugged, detached from their source. And our affirmation for this week, I know my mind, I know my heart, I know who I am, so healing is assured. And I'd like you to repeat this with me. I know my mind, I know my heart, I know who I am, so healing is assured. Let's do that one more time, and let's go into our heart this time when we say it. I know my mind, I know my heart, I know who I am, so healing is assured. Our peace practice this week is to see the divinity, the light, the innate goodness in all the people of our world, no matter how they present, no matter what they have done, and to treat them accordingly. I invite you to relax now into your inner knowing and hear these words, also from Eric Butterworth. Stir up the gift of God within you. You can be a saving influence. Salute your own divinity now in your inner mirror. Remembering we are all one people, declare your oneness with all the people on earth. See the light, the divinity in us all of us. See it in friends and enemies, neighbors and strangers. And then reach out in love to all people from every side. See the good in them all. Salute the divinity in them, and then treat them as if they were showing up as all they can be. You will influence them thereby to being all they can be, and in this way, your life will have meaning. Thank you.
One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one.
Reading this morning comes from James Dillard Freeman, a piece that he wrote called "The Heart Will Find Its Own." What is love? To understand love, one must experience it. Love is more than popularity. Love is more than prestige. Love is a sharing. Love is a power. Love is a change that takes place in our hearts. Sometimes it may change others, but it always changes us.
One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. We all are one.
Is our prayer chaplain, Deborah Walker, would you please offer our prayer for us today?
Good morning, everybody. So let's just take a moment. If you feel comfortable, please close your eyes. If you have any thoughts popping into your head, just simply acknowledge them. They don't require your attention at this time. This is our time together, a time that we hold space in the infinite, ineffable, divine love. And as we move forward in whatever our experiences happen to be, may we always see the good in others, see the good in our circumstances. And I affirm that there are answers to our questions, and that we know what to do, and we do it. The guidance is always there, and so it is. Amen.
So it is. Amen. Thank you so much, Deborah. It's beautiful. Feel good. Do you feel good? Yeah, like just feels good. Like just feels like a cozy, wonderful, awesome, glorious experience today. Well, we're going to kick it up just a little bit. You know, I like to have the highs and the lows and the experience of like ebb and flow. And today, to take it up a notch, we have a magnificent guest musician who's going to share with us a glorious song, which you will all recognize. And if you feel like you want to get up and move your body, you are absolutely welcome to. Please welcome Charlie Hall.
You know that it's time to get on board. Let this train keep on riding, riding on through. Well, people all over the world join hands and start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, a love train. All my sisters and brothers over in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too, please don't miss this train at the station, 'cause when you catch it, I feel happy, happy for you. Start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train. Ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. Hey, people all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train. I said people all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train. Come on, people all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train.
People all over the world, join hands, start a love train. Yes, let's start a love train. Let's start a love train. It can start from right here. We can call this the love station. We're going to take a train, we're going to take it out into the world, and we're going to celebrate this thing called love. Yeah, this is a great, I love the theme of love, so I always like when we get to February, because, you know, even if we're not doing the 12 powers, I usually make the theme of February be love. Why? Well, Valentine's Day is a week from tomorrow. Well, that got an overwhelming response, didn't it? Just a reminder to everyone who is coupled, Valentine's Day is a week from tomorrow. And if you're not coupled, well, come and see me. Even though I have a husband, you can come and see me, and I will, well, I was going to say I will love you up, but that sounds wrong. I don't know how to correct that, so I'm sitting here thinking, well, how do I fix this now? Yeah. There's something that kind of was resonating and rattling around in my brain this week, and I started thinking about like when I go out, do you ever go out? When I go out and I meet new people, say I go to a party. I was gonna say a cocktail party. Who has cocktail parties anymore? But if I go to a party of some sort and I meet new people, anyone have that experience? It can be uncomfortable, right? And here's why, because you're not really sure what to talk about, so we engage in this thing called small talk, right? Small talk. And I don't have any issue with small talk. It's a great way to ask some basic questions and get to know people. But what is inevitably one of the questions that always gets asked? What do you do? You're right with me today. What do you do? And oftentimes now, in my mind, my inner response when somebody asks me, what do you do, is to say, within to go, okay, here we go. Because there are a lot of stereotypes around what it is to be a minister. And the minute you say you're a minister, oh gosh, all of a sudden everybody has something that they're going to tell you about their experience in the church. And I'm totally fine with that. But it is a little bit like, okay, I'm going to now be met with a perception, a stereotype about who I am based on one word, minister. Now, I've already mentioned my husband. Now, imagine I go into a party where there are members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and they have a very, very specific relationship, many of them, to church, and they hear you're a gay minister. Well, now that brings up even more stereotypes, right? Now, here's the thing. We are all living as the expressions of our authentic selves, but we are being met sometimes with people seeing us as stereotypes. Think about that. Whether you identify with a stereotype or you don't, people perceive you within the construct of a stereotype, an idea, a preconceived notion that they have in mind. Now, the thing that ends up happening is I will say I'm a minister. They will tell me about their church experience, and then they try to change the topic really quickly because, you know, the things you never talk about in company are politics and religion, right? But those who don't change the topic, and some of them don't change the topic, here's what ends up happening. They spend a lot of their energy working to convince me that their spiritual path is the way. And I like to believe that I'm not doing the same. But there's that part of me that goes, oh, but if you only understood, right? You ever have that experience? But if you only understood the power that you are, if you only understood that you are this infinite power and presence that we call God, if you only understood that, you would release all those limited notions of what you're telling me, and you could step into your magnificence, right? That's all happening inside, and I'm usually just going, One of the things that truly attracted me when I first came into the New Thought movement, and before I became a minister, but was going to a spiritual center every single Sunday, what really attracted me is that I fell into it seemingly by accident. Now, remember I said before, you're here on purpose, whether you think you are or not. Well, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and that's what happened in my life. But what it did not require was anyone outside proselytizing to say, I'm going to convince you that you must show up at church, right? We don't do that. We actively invite leaders in our community to not go out and proselytize. Because we do believe you are going to be on the spiritual path that is right and perfect for you, and if you are attracted to this community, then you will find your way to this community. You will. That's the way the universe works. The universe is always working in alignment and accordance with perfect flow and order. That's what we teach. Not everybody believes it, and that's okay. So I don't actively try to convert anyone. And in fact, often, like even in class, I talked in class recently to say, the thing about New Thought is that Unity was never meant to be a religion. Religious science was never meant to be a religion. Divine science was never meant to be religion. Those are the three major movements underneath the New Thought umbrella. We were never meant to be a religion. This was not part of the construct to create churches out in the world. What it was a philosophy that could work in cooperation with your religious belief. Because we only teach two things. We teach that God is all there is, and that the universe is unfolding based on the law of cause and effect, and that is a divine thing. God is all there is. That's it. It's the only thing that exists. And if that is the only thing that exists, well, we take it a little step further, and we teach that if that's all that exists, then we must be part of that because we are part of all that exists. Traditional people, they don't want to hear that. That's okay. But there is power within understanding and accepting that. So I don't actively try to convert, although, like I said, there is always that very effusive voice in the back of my head, remember? But if you only... That's in the back of my head as I think to myself, oh, the philosophy that I have adopted in my life can work for you. It can. But you need to make the decision. Even as you come in here, even as this community, as we come in here every single Sunday, we are making another decision to actively engage in a spiritual philosophy that upholds the understanding that you are magnificent. And it's not because of anything you do, it is just who you are, and you matter in this world because you exist. That's the truth. So I'm constantly weighing this balance, right, as I've said before, of trying to express what it is we teach, the principles we teach, and I differentiate that from what I believe. And you get to decide what you believe. And you get to decide within that belief construct if it is in alignment with the principles we teach. That's what I love about this philosophy. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to invite and inspire from within you something that motivates you, that inspires you into action in your life. But you get to decide what it is you believe. That's why last week's homework. What is something you believe? Why do you believe it? Is it something you want to continue to believe? And if it's not something you want to continue to believe, what might you replace that belief with? We get to decide at all times what our beliefs are. Now, not everybody believes that, but we do. We get to decide all the time. And we are deciding all the time whether or not we are upholding our beliefs or dismantling our beliefs. So, part of my approach is to step back actively, step back and leave room for you. I say a lot, I talk a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that. Especially on a Sunday. I talk for about 20 minutes, usually in my message. Sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's an hour and 25 minutes. I'm just kidding. Although someday, maybe, no. What I choose to do is to invite you into learning the principles intellectually, then stepping back actively and leaving room for you to discover what it means to you, to discover God on your own. Am I leaving room for that to unfold? Is then the question. Am I allowing room for that to unfold? Or is there a little judgment on my part? And this is a good question for all of us to ask ourselves. Am I allowing someone to have their journey of discovery? Or is there a little judgment on my part that they're not doing it fast enough, that they don't understand, that they're not getting there? Well, here's the issue with that. There's a challenge in that. And that is not a loving embrace of someone's spiritual journey. And so this month, as we celebrate love, I'm going to invite us all to deepen into what it is to actually love. And that, one of the aspects of loving is allowing someone to be on the journey that they are on. To be on the journey that they are on without our opinion, without our judgment, to allow someone the flexibility and the freedom to explore, because that is what we are here to do, to encourage exploration. Now, part of the challenge with the New Thought philosophy is that it's relatively unknown in the grand scheme of things, right? I mean, have any of you ever gone out and said, I'm part of Unity? And people go, what is that? Is that Unitarianism? Right? That's usually what we get, right? That's usually the response. And while you can see the correlations within the philosophies, we are not Unitarianism. We are unity. Well, what is that? It's part of the New Thought it's part of the New Thought umbrella. What is New Thought? In these conversations, typically, as then people then start to tell me what their philosophy is, what becomes abundantly clear often is that they are putting God outside the self, right? That's okay. God is out there. And then I go, how can you possibly believe that? See the judgment? It's very easy for that to happen, right? So my work, and it is work. It's work. What do I always say, William? This stuff is work until you embody it, and then it becomes a habit, and then it's no longer work. But part of it is you have to do the work to live the results. So my work, in the most loving way I can, is to be the most loving individual I can be, to be open and release judgment. It's a big call for a lot of people. There's a program that I led this time last year. Winnell was part of it. A number of people in this community were part of it, called Mental Muscle. And each week you're given a directive and a theme that you work on throughout the week. It's a 16-week program. That's right, 4 months that you are with me. And here's the thing, it's 7:30 a.m. twice a week that you join me and we work together through these directives. Well, week 15 is no judgment week. And it's towards the end because really we're working to build up to no judgment week. And we get to that week and it's almost like the whole thing comes crashing down like, oh my gosh, I can't judge anymore. I have to actually start recognizing when I am stepping into judgment. Yes. Yes. One of the most loving practices that we can ever engage in is to release all judgment. Simple idea, not always easy to do. So the conversation unfolds in these experiences. What do you think about God? Well, there are two ways, of course, to think about God. I've already talked a little bit about them. One is to think of God without, God outside the self. Now, here's the issue that I have with this idea that God is potentially outside the self, is that if God is outside the self, then the whole point and purpose of our spiritual spiritual trash. That is not what I meant. The whole point and purpose of our spiritual path is to desperately try to reunite with God. If God is outside the self, then the path is always trying to reunite with something that we perceive outside the self. But here's the thing, as long as we continue to perceive it outside the self, we will never unite. We will never be in unity with our inherent wholeness. And if it is outside the self, well, then typically what happens is it causes us to be in supplication to that thing out there, as though when we pray, prayer must go somewhere to be answered. So that's God outside the self. So the second part of this is God, recognizing that God is inherent, God is within, God is the full expression of us. And as we align our hearts and our minds with this, in this, then there's nothing to reunite with or find ourselves in supplication to. For when we know who we are, what is there? but to live that wholly. If God is within, we cannot beg for anything outside the self. So if God is within, what would we be begging God to do? God is us. We'd be begging ourselves for something. Well, we get to provide everything rooted in the inherent knowingness that is at the core of our being. Our work, the work is to embody, to so deeply understand that every fiber of our being, every cell, every molecule, every atom, every subatomic particle that makes up the beingness of our physical presence, all of it, 100% of it, is God, source energy. When we truly accept that, when we embody this understanding, then you know what? What we find is that as we pray, the answer to the prayer is contained within the prayer. And all we are doing is aligning ourselves. That's love. That is love. I think that's probably what you experienced yesterday at this quantum healing experience. To find that love so deeply rooted and so expressed as our physical beingness, and understanding that they are one and the same, that we cannot help but be a healing presence in this world. Love is knowing the truth of our beingness and behaving accordingly. Emily Cady explains love in this way. God is love. We cannot see love, nor grasp any comprehension of what love is, except as love is clothed with a form. All love in the universe is God. Each and every one of us is love clothed in form. We are the clothing of the divine. We are what the divine decides to put on in the morning to go and express its magnificence in the world. The clothing our inner wholeness wears is our expression. And we are constantly making choices. Our divine selves are constantly making choices about which outfit to wear that day. And it gets to show up in myriad ways. It shows up in ways that don't feel so good sometimes. It's still the power of love expressing itself. So what outfit are you going to wear today? What outfit are you going to decide to wear as the full expression of love that you inherently are? We are constantly making decisions about how to show up in the world. In this moment, you are making a decision, whether you are aware of it or not, about how you choose to be in the world, in this experience. Are we showing up aligned with and expressing as our inherent self, which is love, or are we choosing something else? God, source, energy, spirit, whatever you choose to call it, it is thinking through our thought. It is expressing through our action. And this creates an intimacy with God as God. God is personal. And we get a bad rap because we make God fairly impersonal in the teaching. But God is abundantly personal. God is that intimacy into me. See. I see you. I recognize you. I love you. That's intimacy. To recognize the God inherent in every single person you encounter. That's how I choose to know God as love. I choose to clothe myself in the expression of love. And it is in this deepest sense of intimacy that our spiritual work is most effective. For when we are aligned with knowing who we are, love only comes naturally. Forgive everything comes naturally. And the answer to our prayer is always met in action in the world. Our minds, filled with love, express more effectively than those who only rely on a mechanical understanding of this principle. Love is the intuitive knower within. So let us choose today to clothe ourselves accordingly. Be the greatest expression of love that you can be, because it is the core of who you are. Peace and blessings to you. You are magnificent. So the homework this week, as we love only, is 3 practices. 3 practices. 1, this week, act on what you need rather than what you want. Go on an exploration of looking at what it is you need rather than what you want, and act on what you need rather than what you want. You get to let wisdom inform you, and you get to decide what it is too. That's number 1. Number 2, an act of love is allowing ourselves to set boundaries, knowing what is yours to say yes to, knowing what is yours to say no to. Number 3, live with intention, moment to moment. Live with intention, moment to moment. That is living purposefully, moment to moment, and actively allowing your purpose to be the forward-moving factor of your life. Let your decisions support your purpose. And if you're not certain what your purpose is, that's okay. Take time to explore that this week. So act on what you need, set boundaries, and live with intention moment to moment. Let's just take a few moments to allow ourselves to settle into whatever it is that is reflected within us. If something has come to mind for you, if you've heard something today that resonates with you, let that be present. Let that idea be present. It may be one little kernel. Let it be active in your mind and in your heart as we relax and allow.
Of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love. In the stillness of this moment I am peace. I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace. I am peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I am peace.
Right here in this moment, in this pure, perfect moment, I relax into the deepest reflection of this understanding that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is one source, there is one energy, there is one principle, there is one power. There is God and nothing else. And everything that exists is God, clothing itself in form. And so we are, each and every one of us is this magnificent principle clothed in form. We are infinite love in form, allowing God to express magnificently by means of all we are. In understanding this, I allow the deepest expression to know that God is speaking. God is speaking no matter who's talking. And so I speak my word on behalf of each and every one of us knowing that it is creative and it is flowing forth into the expression of life. So I speak my word to say, love only, love only, love only. I relax, I trust, I know. And it is with gratitude overflowing from within that I allow the pure, perfect unfoldment of this divine essence to show up as the life of each and every one of us. With gratitude in my heart and overflowing, I let it be so. And so it is. Amen.
In the stillness of this moment, I am love. I am love. In the stillness of this moment, I am love. I am love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am love.
Thank you. Would you please welcome to the platform Ross Boehm, who is one of the members of our board of directors. Always grateful to see you, Ross. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was moved by something that Jonathan said. I grew up in a religion that said that we are the only true church. And I learned that in catechism when I was 14. And I questioned that at that time. That's one of the things I really love about Unity is the fact that we accept every religion, wherever you are, whatever it is. I've had people come to me and try to convert me to their form of religion. And my answer has always been, if it works for you, that's fine. I will decide what I want to do. So what I want to express today is there are a couple of ways of serving our spiritual center. One is volunteering. I've been on the board for about 2 years now. And I recall it was almost 2 years ago that we invited Jonathan to be our minister. And it's been a very good thing for us. The other way of contributing to our spiritual center is monetarily. It takes a lot to keep a facility like this going. Not only the structure, the grounds, the people who are on the payroll to make all of this work, and I'll let Jonathan express how that's done.
There are many ways that you can give. If you're online, you'll see some options coming up on your screen. We will pass the baskets. There are ways that you can give electronically as well. But as you have what it is that you're offering Unity of Tucson today, would you please hold it and infuse it with all the love you can, because it is an energy of love that is making a temporary stop through this time in this place and will continue on into the infinite circulation of this thing called life. And as you hold it, let's share together our givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. And we're gonna get up. If you wanna move the body while the baskets go around. I like to move my body with this one. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful.
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 I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. grateful.
I'm so 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 grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful.
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 I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. One more time. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yes, and thank you all for all it is that you offer to this community and support of this community, and knowing that it blesses this center and blesses this mission and vision that we move into the world with. So thank you, thank you, thank you. A couple of things to know about. We do have our spiritual education series continuing. We will have a new class. There's a class currently on Wednesday nights. The next class that is being offered is the 12 Powers, which is being taught by our very own licensed Unity teacher, Susan Smith. That begins on Wednesday evening, March 23rd. You can register online. You can also register in the bookstore. It will be another hybrid class, so we will have people in the room, and it will also be available on Zoom simultaneously. So check that out. Skills for Higher Awareness, it continues every Thursday at 10 a.m. This is facilitated by our very own Christina Gilman. Check her out if you would. I haven't seen Christina here today. She is not here today. Well, she has a workshop on Thursday morning, so if you are interested, she said whether you've been to the workshops in the past or not, you can show up. So show up on Thursday morning. What else? Oh, yes. We had such a great response to our sign up for choir, and we are going to continue signing up. If you are interested in singing with our choir, you can continue to sign up today. There's a sign-up sheet in the foyer. You can sign up online. Right on our homepage is a link that says register for choir. Rehearsals will begin next Sunday as we start to learn a song for our Get Ready For It Easter service. Yes. Also, some people will probably start to ask about the booklets for Lent. Those have come in. I don't know if they're out yet, but if you want to pick up a booklet for Lent, which doesn't begin for another month, but if you want to get a jump start on it, we will have booklets for Lent available, so that is a nice guide through Lent. Save the date. Annual general meeting is on February 20th, 2022, after the service. We would love to share with you what's been happening here at Unity of Tucson and give you some indication as to some vision that we hold. And it's also an opportunity for you to ask us questions as the leadership. It's me and the board, and always grateful to be able to serve. What else is happening? Oh, happy birthday. So do we have the basket for birthdays? There it is. I don't want to seem like I'm playing favorites, so would you have somebody please draw a form from the basket, Roberta? There we go. Who's the winner? It's Charlie is the winner. Congratulations. What was the
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Casa de los Niños is the charity, so thank you so much, Charlie. Let's sing happy birthday to everyone who's celebrating. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to we do have need for support in our youth program. If you are interested in volunteering for our youth program, you can send an email to yfm@unitytucson.com. There is also a sign-up in the foyer. Is Chris here, I thought? Yeah, hi, Chris. Chris Paxton is our manager of youth and family services. Always grateful to have you here. And doesn't look like you had any of the little ones today. Not today. Well, they'll be back, yes. What else? Today's prayer chaplains in service are Deborah Walker, who offered the prayer today. Also, Sherry Hoffman back there. They have the purple stoles. If you have need of prayer, please feel free to see one of them after the service today. They will stick around in the sanctuary. The other thing that you can do is you can always fill out a prayer request form. Those are in the lobby, and put those in the prayer box, which is out there, and those then get distributed to the prayer team as well. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today possible. I want to say thank you to our technical crew today, Dawn and Tyler and Greg today. Grateful for your service. Let us say thank you to Winnell for your magnificence and your sharing today. Yes, to William for your magnificence and your sharing today. And to Deborah for your magnificence and your sharing today. Yes. I want to say thank you to Ross for sharing as well. Let us give it up for this magnificent team of musicians. Linda, Kenji, Raphael, always grateful. I'm so glad to know that we have the best band in the whole movement. Right? We do. Let's give a very special round of applause to our guest today, Charlie Hall. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you, each and every one of you, for shining your light, sharing your time here with us this morning. And as we complete our time, let us share together this option for our closing prayer. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. And feel free to dance as we close the day by putting a little love in our heart. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see, wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love